7. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Endeavour to develop the practical and beneficial.
Being an astronaut for me has been a lifelong dream ever since I was a little child.
And Mark and Andy, we're with you in Space Hab. Good morning.
I watched some of Andy Thomas's launches from the TV and was just so excited by what he was doing in space as an Australian.
I'm ready to give you the status brief anytime you're ready to copy.
Thousands of persons were on hand to view the liftoff of America's most powerful rocket.
I think historically, one thing that I was really excited by was the Apollo 8 mission.
Farther from Earth than man had ever before been.
The first mission that took humans around the moon.
And they would take pictures, still photographs as well as motion picture film.
And that's where they took that first Earthrise photo that's really famous. People realized, we are one planet.
With stars in her eyes and space on her mind, Katherine Bennell-Pegg's lifelong dream of working among the stars has never been closer.
I'd love to be doing a spacewalk on the outside of a station or on the moon, opening that hatch and stepping out to, install perhaps a great Australian experiment or telescope on the outside.
The British dual citizen who grew up in Sydney graduated from the European Space Agency in April as Australia's first female astronaut and the first astronaut to train under the Australian flag.
I stand on the shoulders of giants here. Australia has a history of human spaceflight. We had Phil Chapman way back in the 60s. There was, Paul Scully-Power, who went to space in the 80s, representing the US as a mission specialist and oceanographer and did great science. There was Andy Thomas, who was, a professional astronaut for NASA, who went on multiple missions, incredible missions. You've just got to throw your hat in the ring to have a chance and be prepared and do your best. That's all you can hope for.
She beat more than 22,000 people from across Europe to land one of 6 places in astronaut school, enduring a crash course in the science of survival.
And we're going upside down. Woo!
From zero-gravity CPR courses aboard a negative-G aircraft to medicine, biology, advanced Russian and robotics. Katherine's cohort boarded spacecraft simulators and the centrifuge, taking to astronaut training like a duck to water.
And that training for us took 13 very intense months, and we cover so many different topics because the role of an astronaut today is very diverse. In order to be an astronaut, you can have any kind of STEM career that you like. You can be a scientist, you can be an engineer, you can be a doctor, you can be a pilot, and whichever one of those sounds the best to you, you can pursue that.
Now in Adelaide as the Director of Technology at the Australian Space Agency, one of her core missions is opening pathways for the next generation's space workforce.
There'll be Australian doctors and medical teams and fitness instructors and scientists and engineers and people in mission control like you see behind me. And there's many, many jobs that support an astronaut. And in space today in Australia, there's far more than just human spaceflight as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a dream of mine, in the future, to do something like that. Having Australia's first astronaut here just makes it a little bit more believable that it's something that we can achieve pretty soon.
It's very inspiring, just seeing someone pave the way in an Australian space industry.
It's often said that the first person to walk on Mars could be in a classroom somewhere in the world today, and maybe that's an Australian classroom. Maybe that's your classroom, maybe it's you.
An open invitation to any young Australian who dares to let their dreams take them out of this world.
I hope that through my training and whatever comes next, I can help unlock the opportunity for more Australians to be involved in human spaceflight, to put their stuff in space, and maybe one day more Australian astronauts. Wouldn't that be great?